Hi everyone, this is the dispatch for Friday, May 15th. Our psalm is Psalm 66, and then we are back in Genesis with the story of Noah and the great flood. Here in chapter 7, I believe we're in chapter 7, we have the actual flood itself. We have the earth being covered with water. We have Noah and his family and the animals on the ark. One of the interesting things to note about this is to look at the picture that is being painted of where the waters come from. It says that the fountains of the great deep burst forth. It says that the windows of the heavens were opened. Waters are coming up from below. Waters are coming down from above. This should make us think about the creation story in Genesis chapter 1. When God separates the waters. And in the ancient worldview, the world was like a huge circle, not a globe in the way that we think of it today, but land down below and the circle of a dome of sky above. And over that dome of sky are waters. And then underneath the land is this great deep where there are waters. Waters are all around. And so the flood happens by these separations that were made at creation being opened, being undone. This is an uncreating act that will later lead to a new kind of creation at the end of the flood. So that's the picture that's being painted here. Again, I don't want to say too much because just a couple Sundays from now we'll be talking about this. I'll be talking about this in my sermon. So then we go back to the book of Acts. This is again the story of Paul and his journey from Jerusalem to Rome. They are now on a ship, and then the ship is in a precarious situation, and Paul is giving them guidance that he has received from God. There is a divine necessity to Paul's arrival in Rome before the emperor, and so Paul is able to, with confidence, reassure the ship's crew that they will survive, though they will have to wreck along the way. Not very comforting, but Paul does eventually make it to Rome, of course. Now, to close, I just want to share something with you. I read just last night an op-ed column written by David Brooks, and he's writing about the ways that ordinary people are demonstrating courage and endurance and perseverance at this time, even while the not-so-ordinary people, the leaders, are arguing and bickering over this and that. And he writes this. He says, "We have entered the endurance phase of this pandemic. We are slowly mastering this disease, but we have not yet done so. And so we wait and endure. Endurance is patience. It is shortening your time horizon, so you just have to get through this day. Endurance is living with unpleasantness. In fact, it is finding you can adapt and turn the strangest circumstance into routine. Endurance is fortifying. It is discovering you can get socked in the nose and take it. Above all, endurance is living with uncertainty. Sometimes it's remaining quiet in the face of uncertainty because no conjecture will really tell you what is coming. Endurance is the knowledge that the only way out is through, and whatever must be borne will be borne." I share these words with you today because I'm mindful of the fact that it was March 15th that we first suspended our in-person worship. And today is May 15th. So we are fully 2 months now into this new territory as a church. And perhaps the hardest part of this is not knowing how long this is going to last, not knowing how long we are going to be living in this way. And it may feel for many of you like we are enduring one day at a time. It often feels that way in this house, I know. But this is more than ever such a wonderful time to be a part of a community of faith. It is a cliche, but we are in this together, and it's worth saying that. It's worth reminding ourselves of that and doing everything that we can as a church, as a community of faith, to remain connected to one another during this very strange time. I pray for you often. I miss all of you, and I long for that day when we can be back together in our sanctuary. But in the meantime, I am still grateful to be surrounded by the family of faith, and I hope that you feel that support as well. That is all for today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Sunday, and we'll see you back here on Monday morning.